Hello, good morning everyone. Today we are doing the next topic of OC, and the name of the topic is comparison between business, profession and employment. So as I think all the three words, that is business, profession and employment, the concept of business, profession and employment is very much clear in your mind, that what is business, what is profession and what is employment. So let me just revise once and then we will move further with the comparison of these three types. So business means any activity which is done with the purpose of getting the profit is treated as the business. Profession means the person who is having a specialized knowledge, skill, and a specialized degree in the particular field is treated as the profession. And employment means the person who is doing a job somewhere. And in the concept of employment, we had learned the two words, that is employee and the employer. So as we are doing the revision, we will just do the revision of these two words as well. Employer means the person who is giving the job, and employee means the person who is doing the job. Fine. So let's move further with the comparison between the business, profession and the employment. See, might be possible that in the exam you will be asked the difference between any two. Might be you can be asked write down the difference between the business and profession, difference between profession and employment, difference between employment and business, difference between profession and business. Any two can be asked to you people, but this should be very much clear in your mind. If the concept is clear, you can write it by your own as well. Fine. So the first point of difference is nature of the work. Half the work differs in all the three types, that is half the nature of the work will differ in the business, profession and employment. In the business, goods and services are supplied to the customers in the exchange of money. So it is but obvious that if the person is doing the business, he will have to exchange the goods. Either he will exchange the goods or he will exchange the services. And in the exchange of that goods or the services, in the return of that, he will get something which will be treated as money. In the profession, personal and business services are rendered with discretion in the return of fees. So in the profession, might be possible that personal benefits are also there and the business benefits are also there. If the person is a chartered accountant and he is having his own office, that is he is a we should say that is he is a practicing chartered accountant, so that is his personal benefit, that whatever he will earn from that profession will be treated as his personal income. But if the person is chartered accountant and he is working in some company or he is doing his job as the chartered accountant in the company, then it is possible that whatever the business ethics are there, whatever the rules and regulations of the business are there, that the person has to follow. And might be possible that he will get the the desired amount, that is treated as salary, in the return of fees. If he is having his own personal office, he is a practicing chartered accountant, then he can demand the desired fees or whatever the fees he wants from the clients. And in the employment, performing work as per the rules and contract, it is but obvious that if the person is doing job somewhere, he has to perform the work according to the rules, whatever the rules and regulations of that company is there. That employee is bound to follow that rules and regulations, and he has to work as per the given contract. The second point of difference is qualification. If the person in the business, no qualification is required. So if the person is doing the business, there is no desired qualification. If the person is graduate, then also he is, if he is having that internal skill that have to run the business, have to earn the maximum profit, he can do the business very well. The second is profession. In the profession, it is but obvious that the person should have the desired qualification. So educational qualification, training and expertise knowledge is required over here. In the profession, educational qualification of the person will be predetermined. For example, of the doctor is that at least he should be having the degree of MBBS. If he has done specialization, that is well and good. If the person is a chartered accountant, he should have the degree of CA, which is given by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. If the person is a company secretary, then also he has to perform the work, and he should have the degree of a company secretary, which is given by the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. So desired qualification of the person is required. Desired training, if the person, we will talk about CA, if the person is chartered accountant, then after the completion of the degree the person has to take the training as well, that as being the chartered accountant they are getting the two options. Either they can be a whole time chartered accountant or the practicing chartered accountant. Whole time chartered accountant means the person who is doing job somewhere else as a chartered accountant, and practicing chartered accountant means the person is having his own personal office. Clients will come to him and they will give their work to that person. So if the person is having the desired training or the training, there are some certain trainings which are given by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, that as being the chartered accountant you should have this type of trainings. After that only you will get the degree of the chartered accountant. So training is required. And expertise, if the person is not having expertise knowledge, or if the person is not an expert in that particular field, then also it is not possible. So in the profession, educational qualification, training and expertise is required. And in the employment, qualification is required, but it depends on the purpose of the job, that what kind of job you are doing. If you are doing marketing, then MBA is required. If you are having the inner skill of marketing, then also it is okay. If you are working as a software engineer, you should have the degree of BSc IT, and number of degrees are there. If you are working as a software engineer, you should have the degree of BEIT. Next one is reward or return. Return is called profit. In the business, whatever the return you get, that will be treated as the profit. In the profession, whatever the return you get after doing the work, that will be treated as the fees. And in the employment, it will be treated as the wages or the salary. The next point of difference is capital. In the business, capital is required as per the nature of the business. In the last lecture, we had studied what is capital. Capital means while starting the business, whatever the person brings, owner of the business brings into the business, that is treated as the capital. Might be possible that you people had learned the meaning of capital in the accounts, that whatever the owner of the business brings into the business while starting the business, that is treated as the capital. In the profession, limited capital is required at the time of establishment. If the person is a professional, there is no need of much capital. Why? Because whenever he is starting the business, limited capital is required to start the business. After that, if he is having a specialized knowledge, if he is giving the best services, clients are going to come, so he can manage that amount from that fees as well. So limited capital is required at the time of establishment. And in the employment, if you are doing job somewhere else, there is no need to have the capital. The next point of difference is risk. Uncertainty of profit or risk of loss remains in the business. It is but obvious that if the person is doing the business, that is a risk of profit as well as the risk of loss. Might be possible that in the business the person may suffer a loss due to theft, loss due to rain, loss due to flood, loss due to earthquake, and number of losses are there. Might be possible that whatever the desired profit he has expected, he may not be able to achieve that desired profit. Then also there is a risk. In the profession, risk of non-receipt of searching fees. It means that if the person has given the goods on credit, or if the person has given the services to someone, but in the exchange of that services the client has not given the fees to that person, so only that type of risk will remain in the profession. And employment, less risk remains because of the fixed salary. If the company is going in the loss, then only it is possible that the employer will not be able to pay the desired salary to his employee. So there is a less risk in the concept of employment. Code of conduct means rules and regulations. In the business, legal rules and regulations, legal provisions are to be followed. Why? Because if the person is doing the business, starting the business, he need to take the permission from the government. So legal provisions are to be followed. In the profession, code of conduct is to be followed as prescribed by the respective professional association. So whatever the rules and regulations are given, beyond that limit, the professional cannot go. And in the employment, rules and regulations are specified in the agreement which are to be followed. So if the person is doing job somewhere, then whatever the rules and regulations are given by that organization where the person is working, he has to just follow that rules and regulations. And the next point of difference is transfer of ownership. Transfer of ownership is possible. In profession, it is not possible, and employment, no transfer of ownership. So in the business, transfer of ownership is not possible. Might be possible that if the owner of the business changes, then the transfer of ownership will take place. And in the profession, transfer of ownership is not possible, and in the employment as well, the transfer of ownership is not possible. The next topic is classification of business activities. See, there are three main categories of the business activities. The first one is trade, the second one is commerce, and the third one is industry. So we will study one by one. First, we will do the classification of business activities, and in that, the first one is trade. What is trade? Trade means exchange of commodity or services in return of commodity or services, or exchange of commodity or service in return of money with the motive of profit between the two persons is known as trade. So that is quite similar to the business. Exchange of commodity, you are not selling the goods, but you are selling certain commodity, or you are giving some services. In the exchange of that commodity or services, you are only receiving the commodity or services. And the second option is you are giving some commodity or services to the person, and in the exchange of that you are receiving the money. It is treated as trade. Then example is given over here. When you buy a book from the shopkeeper, you may pay the money in against of the purchase of the book. Here exchange of commodity is done in the exchange of money. So the example is that when you buy something or you buy a book from the shopkeeper, and the exchange of that book you will pay the money. So in the exchange of that commodity you are giving the money. And the next example is when you purchase a bus ticket and travel by bus, you get exchange of services in the return of money paid. So in the bus you are getting the services by that agency. Fine. The next topic is characteristics of the trade, but we will study these characteristics in the next part. And dear students, you are supposed to write down these comparison between business, profession and employment in your fair book. Okay, fine. Thank you.